Over the past several months, anytime that there's been negativity surrounding Lord of the Rings of Power, and there's been a ton of negativity, Amazon has done the exact same thing. Try to do damage control by blaming the fans. Claim that this is getting incredible ratings and record high numbers, yet at the same time saying just a small portion of people are the ones that aren't liking it, and that's because they're evil. That's because they are racist. And now once again, with only a few episodes left, they're doing the exact same thing. Damage control and attacking the fan base. On one hand, trying to say that this show is just a massive success, a global phenomenon, everybody loves it, but somehow say that only a few people are affecting the way that it's being perceived. It's such a complete and total joke. But in order to do this, they brought out the showrunners, J.D. Payne and Patrick McKay, the two people who have legitimately no experience that were apparently handpicked to do this show, to do the most expensive show in history, $700 million for the first season of Rings of Power. And we're going to look at this Hollywood Reporter article and call out some of the bullshit that is clearly within it. But just as a reminder, once again, Rings of Power, 38% on Rotten Tomatoes. Rings of Power, 2.9 over on Metacritic. Yet they are somehow claiming that everybody loves the show. It's weird how that works, isn't it? Introducing the Lords of the Rings. Oh my gosh, look at these guys. What did they have them dress up as for this? It's like they're about to go find a school, if you know what I mean. Rings of Power showrunners break silence on Backlash, Sauron, and Season 2. The two first-time showrunners who landed TV's biggest series give THR a behind-the-scenes tour as they navigate challenges even scarier than Mordor, from patently evil online trolling to massive industry expectations. And the entire point of this is once again to try to hype people up for Rings of Power, because obviously it didn't work the past couple times, and once again to blame the fans, to say that you are racist if you have a problem with this. Maybe this has actually been effective for them, considering how often they're doing the same exact thing. Since Amazon's billion-dollar high fantasy launch on September 2nd, Rings of Power has been blessed with strong critical acclaim and dragged by online fan bashing. Its audience scores 39%, which includes an unknown degree of review bombing at the hands of internet trolls. The show's Nielsen viewership is formidable. Its first two episodes were seen by roughly 12.6 million US viewers across its first 4 days. Keep in mind, we will remind people that that number, though formidable, is less than what House of the Dragon got that very same week. 14.5 million viewers for House of the Dragon compared to what Lord of the Rings of Power got. Just want to make sure we're very clear about that, because some people want to run with a different headline. But given this is Lord of the Rings, the bar's insanely high, and nobody knows the stakes better than Payne and McKay, the two first-time showrunners who embarked on an unexpected journey 5 years ago to make their Tolkien passion project, have now found themselves, as McKay puts it, on the fault line of the culture war. Not the front line, the fault line. With everybody from armies of anonymous Tolkien fans, well, some of us fans are not anonymous, some of us are showing our faces and have our names out there, so just for the record, to the two richest men in the world weighing in. It's not easy to focus on writing scripts and managing a cast and crew of 1,300 on the most complicated TV production of all time when Elon Musk is slagging you on Twitter. Now, much of this article is just talking about Payne and McKay and the process they went through, how they got to be the guys involved, including they called in a big favor from their buddy J.J. Abrams because, you know, they're from Bad Reboot. And that was really the push that they needed to be installed as the showrunners for this. Some people had nice things to say about the pilot and second episodes, or they didn't have nice things to say, but I hope they stay for more. The bar has to keep going up. Criticism, they can handle, and they've heard it all. Everything fans have debated, they say they likewise argued. They'll readily admit, for instance, some of the first season episodes lack the urgency fans expect from Tolkien adaptations. Yes, there is nothing going on at times. Sometimes there's entire episodes that go by where there was no progress. I think episode 5 was that way. Every single character ended up in exactly the same place as when they started the episode. No progress was made. Payne notes that even the show's loudest critics admit the series looks beautiful and does a fine job of creating and appreciating the wonders of Tolkien's earth, or of Tolkien's world. I wouldn't say that. I would say that that is a common thing I've heard from even people who despise the show like myself. There are moments when it does look really good. There's also moments where it doesn't look good at all, where it looks horrific. The fact that they spent $1 billion on this show for 2 seasons and it looks like that is unforgivable. So it's not like it just looks great all the time. While Amazon could easily survive if Rings were to somehow collapse like the Tower of Barad-dûr, industry experts say its studio arguably couldn't. As one insider put it, it's too big to lose. This show is so important. That's why they needed to succeed. That's why they've been trying to protect it. That's why they've manipulated reviews on Amazon and on IMDb, which they own. That's the reason. People have been very clear about that. They will not let this show fail. They will lie about it if they have to. Yet Amazon has long known they were in for a rather bumpy series takeoff. They saw Tolkien fans slamming Rings of Power before a frame had been released. We all saw it coming. There were no surprises. Having insight into our global audience, we also have insight to the darker sides of how people can manipulate reviews and have other points of view that we wouldn't support. So the streamer announced it was switching off reviews for the show on its platform for the first 72 hours, then kept them off for an additional 5 days. The company continued to monitor reviews. Some vanished so fast, it's like they were wearing the One Ring. Amazon claims there's been a coordinated effort to attack the show for daring to diversify Tolkien with strong female characters and people of color. The hardest part for the people of the cast was to have so many things related to them privately that are just harmful. Let's be very clear about some of this stuff. There are people of color in Tolkien's world. They exist. He created them. They are there. You could have used them. You didn't. You decided to do something else for identity politics purposes. There were a lot of people that pushed back on that based on the true diversity castings that you put in there. Not true to Tolkien's world, but because you wanted to race swap a couple specific types of characters. But when it comes to strong female characters, Galadriel was beloved. People loved Galadriel. This is not Galadriel. They turned this character that's been around for so long from what she was to true to her character. They changed her to something else. They changed her to a, yes, slay, queen, badass, female, warrior, princess. That's what they tried to make her do. But it's not being accepted by people because they know that's not Galadriel. We had strong female characters in Peter Jackson's trilogy. I don't seem to remember I Am No Man, people having a problem for that. You know why? Because it's from the fucking books. That's the reason why. It's an explanation that satisfied the media but inflamed some fans who feel the company's dismissive of any criticism and arguably risked escalating what might have been short-term dust-up on its ongoing fandom trench warfare. As one wrote, "I'm tired of the constant media harangues from Amazon that if you don't love the show, you're racist." And many point out that HBO Max House of the Dragon faced similar trolling for its diversity moves, yet its audience scores weren't impacted. Yes, please tell me that. Please tell me why the same thing didn't happen for House of Dragon. I made videos talking about some of the race swaps that they made, some of the decisions they made that were clearly based on identity politics in House of the Dragon. There's also strong female characters in House of the Dragon. Where's the backlash for this? Oh, that's right. People watch the show and most people are enjoying the show. Most people realize, wow, this is really well crafted and really well made. Maybe do still have some problems with some of the castings and the reasons behind it, but what they're putting on screen is good. You can't say the same thing about Lord of the Rings of Power. Yet this will consistently be what they go to time after time after time. For Amazon to claim that there's been a coordinated effort. Was it a coordinated effort when everybody just downvoted to shit this? Was it coordinated, or was it people seeing it being like, wow, not a big fan of what you're doing to this world, not a big fan of what you're trying to do to Tolkien, what you're trying to do to Middle-earth? Or was it just they're racist? Where was that backlash for, I don't know, say the Black Panther trailer? All the racists just happen to show up for Rings of Power? Not any other show? That's what you're trying to say? What an absolute fucking joke. It's possible Rings' percentage of agenda-based reviews might be higher than for Dragon. And here is where the mainstream media helps Amazon with these accusations. Tolkien's world has a long unfortunate history of attracting fascist-adjacent admirers, something that surely would have repulsed the fantasy world's anti-totalitarian author, whose Rings trilogy was inspired by the horrors of World War I. Italy's newly elected far-right nationalist leader, for example, has been an outspoken Tolkien fan unhelpfully. This is what it all comes down to. This fake bullshit that the media is putting on people that like Tolkien. This mischaracterization of people that are fans of Lord of the Rings. The mischaracterization of politicians as well. But this is such fucking bullshit. But this is why Amazon had this done. This is why Amazon had this story put out there. So that they could have the media write these things about fans. So that they could say, you know, it's just been a coordinated effort to harass us. If it really is as big as you say, if these numbers that you're telling us are true about Lord of the Rings, The Rings of Power, why do you need to hide your reviews on Amazon? Why do you need to protect and delete reviews on IMDb, which you own? Why are all these things happening? If it was as widespread as you're saying, and if as many people like it as you're saying, it wouldn't be an issue. The reason they have to come out with all this bullshit again, this is what, the third time this has happened? Before it released, after it released, and now once again, after 6 episodes, they come out and call fans racist, say those are the only people that aren't liking this. It's just the people that have a problem with diversity. It's because they are desperate to do damage control for this and to control the narrative. It is not working. That is the reason. And they have said that they're going to lie if they have to because it's too big to fail. This show is too big to fail. We heard it before. They will do anything they can, from lying about the numbers to lying about the fan bases, anything to make sure that Lord of the Rings, The Rings of Power is successful. I don't know if it's helping them. Once again, that first week, you can write all the headlines you want. At the end of the day, like we showed before, House of the Dragon, by over 2 million viewers, edged out Rings of Power. So many fans have rejected this. That's why they keep having to lie and put out these fake narratives. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Smash a like button, subscribe to the channel, ring the bell for notifications, share this video out there, and I'll talk to you later.
Thanks for watching, everyone, and a huge shout out to my patrons. I appreciate you guys so much. Want to follow me on Twitter or Instagram? Check out the description below. You'll find links to my PO box and my Patreon as well. And I'll talk to you guys later.